Howdy, folks. Makers Mashup. God, I feel like Bruce Almighty. Um, I am Charles Deering. This is Makers Mashup. Our guest tonight is Jamie Page. And for the three of you that don't know him, I'll let him introduce himself after we get introduced. Good God on a stick. Take two. we're gonna
slow down.
I'm just trying so hard, you know. Oh, by the way, that this space down here is for rent, so inquire within. Anyway, couple of announcements. My website is still being revamped, but I really think y'all are gonna like it because when it's done, it'll be easier to find everything. There's also going to be a category that says newest, meaning you don't have to go through all the patterns to find out which ones are the latest additions. And that's, I think, one thing that's really going to help people is like, I don't want to have to go through all these to figure out which ones are the newest. And they're categorized. Obviously, there's thumbnails I think are easier to read, but still manageable. And biggest addition is that all 6 of the DVDs I've put out are now downloadable off that site. So you don't need a DVD player. You don't need to download. You don't need to pay for it on YouTube, although that is an option. And at least for now, the DVDs, the physical DVDs, can still be bought. But if you so choose to, you can just purchase it on the woodenvisions.com, and you'll get a download link, and boom, you can download it to your computer and watch whenever you want. Yeah, so that's that. And what was the other one? Oh, also quick shout out and hopes and wishes and prayers for those that are into that, for anybody in the path of Hurricane Irma. We know Russ Clarity here is from Florida. We got Steve French. There's Eloy Escobedo, Javier Anzueta. Sorry if I'm screwing up any of these last names. I think it might go into Georgia too, and it could be in Dave Gatton's path. I don't know, but anybody in the path, please be careful and keep us posted because we do care. I think that's all the announcements I have. Throw it on over. Russ. Oh, I'm Charles Deering, woodenvisions.com. The Charles Deering on Instagram, the Charles Deering on Facebook, and I don't know what I am on Twitter, but I don't use it that much anyways. And we just lost the co-host, so oops. It's probably because he didn't have a nifty little banner down there, but he may have hit the wrong button trying to do something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it would seem silly to introduce you and then him come back in and me introduce himself.
Here he comes.
So, okay, good. Okay, Russ, did you hit the wrong button?
Don't you hate it when you do that crap?
Yeah. Oh, I've never done it, Russ. I've never done it.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. I can't believe I just did that.
I did it earlier, and I'm thinking, oh, God, don't tell me I screwed up broadcasting the show. Okay. So that's all my stuff that I can think of. Again, please, if you're into praying or God or religion or anything, just, if nothing else, just let's hope the best for the people on the path of Hurricane Irma and hope they get through it. Because I know it's taking an emotional and physical toll on people, you know, the fear of the unknown. But we do care, and that's not just words. It's from the heart. As soon as Russ is done drinking, I'll let him introduce himself and tell you where he can find you. He knows what
Russ
to do.
Here, you can find me Simply Wooden Creations all over the place. Twitter, Instagram, simplywoodencreations.com, Periscope, Facebook. Just type in Simply Wooden Creations into a Google search, and you'll find me. I'm also on Twitch now too, which is pretty cool. I'm enjoying that. You want me to go ahead and give my announcements?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say I wasn't smart enough to keep the same name throughout all my social media. I had to be creative on each one of them, but yeah, so that's why I have to go through that. There's also a link section on woodenvisions.com that I have all my social media on. Get back to you, Russ. What is your All right. What are your announcements?
You know what? That's one of the things that I thought about when I thought down this path. Because Simply Wooden Creations was started back in 1983, something like that. I forgot how long it's been. So I thought if I created everything, there's everything after that. So when you typed it in, you could find me on all the social media. It'd be a lot easier than changing my name. And yes, I have pray for us here, and I have been praying. We right now are under the gun. Now Eloy and Hobby are south, and they are like right in the direct eye, as it are right in the direct big portion of it when it comes in. But we are now under the gun. It's coming right up the center of the state, and that's pretty well where I live. I live in the center of the state, so by Sunday, the weather's supposed to start deteriorating Sunday, and by Sunday night we're supposed to be getting, and I hate it. I wish they'd just come during the day so I could see. But anyway, because of that, two things, or actually several things. Number one is I'm going to try to have a show tomorrow night. It's not set in stone because, I mean, if this thing speeds up, then it could affect a Saturday. So I may not be able to have, I may not have power. I don't know, internet, whatever. So we'll try. All I can tell you right now is just keep an eye out on my Facebook and different places for links, because it may be kind of like within the last few hours that I get to post it, that we're going to have a show. And definitely the announcement of the pallet challenge drawing and the winners of the pallet challenge is going to be put on hold for now. I am not even sure. It may be a couple of weeks before we can have it. Number one, Sterling might get caught. He's got, where he works, some of his stores are in South Florida, and he may be having to come down here to help them get their stores restored and running again. So Sterling's not going to be available. Number two, we're already being told that almost 90+% of Florida is going to be without power, and we could be without power for at least a week. So therefore, I don't even know if I'm going to have power by next Saturday, even try to think about having a show. I know pretty much 99.9% that I won't be having a Twitch show this Wednesday night, so that's pretty well out the door. And it's all up in the air whether we even have a show next Saturday, and questionable about tomorrow night. So all I can tell you is just look for me back on social media when everything gets back up and running. Now, I have generators. If the Lord keeps his hand upon my home and keeps it from being destroyed or keeps any damage, we'll have generators and we'll be fine. We went without power for a week back in Charlie in 2004. No problems. I've got camp stoves and stuff to cook. We got the generator to run the refrigerator, freezer, and everything. So I've got plenty of gas. I'm good to go. Everything is great. It's just God needs to keep his hands on our homes and keep them protected, keep them damaged.
Yeah, I know the show's not about the hurricane, but it is a big issue for a lot of us in the community. And I had hoped for the lesser of two evils, where it just skirted the coast of wherever it went. But Florida being the shape it's in and not being very wide, I was afraid that it was going to go right down the middle of it. And
Al, just real quick, Al Forte says no evacuation orders for Polk County. No, Al, we're under the gun for the eye, but matter of fact, every motel in Polk County is full, taken. All the rooms are up. There's no more rooms. And that's where they're sending everybody, is to Central, because they didn't think it would come here as much as it might come here. But anyway, in that being said, there's still no evacuation orders, because even if it comes in at a 4 or 5, once the eye comes on to land, it will start to diminish quite rapidly. So that's happened before in the hurricanes I've been through. And so by the time it gets to us, it should be down to like a Cat 2 or a Cat 1, and we'll be on the left side, even if we're under the gun, which the left side of a hurricane or the west side of a hurricane is usually the least, how do you say that? The least worst, or not as bad as the right side. The right side's always the worst.
Yeah.
So we're expecting winds between hurricane force winds, but when we say that, we're only expecting winds around 75 to 80 miles an hour, which typical Florida thunderstorms can produce downdrafts and gusts of 75, 80 miles an hour. So
yeah, being that close to the water, definitely.
Yeah, so if it does that, then I mean, I'm probably going to get some damage one way or another, but not devastation by any means.
Not to make light of what's going on, but again, thoughts are with every one of y'all. If nothing else, if Russ has no way of getting online except for texting me or whatever, I will let the community know whether or not he's having a show. If for some reason he has no way of getting on the internet whatsoever.
Yeah. If pretty much, I expect cell phones, towers to be, that'll be one of the first restorations. And the reason I say that is not only for people who mostly use cell phones, but in all sincerity, the fire department, EMS, and all that kind of stuff rely on cellular towers to broadcast their signals too. So any cell phone towers that go down, they'll be real quick to get them up and running. And then the power is usually they usually go in and restore power to the larger areas first. So if you've got an area over here that's affected, but they can get 20,000 people on grid, and you've got people over here and there's only 1,800, they're going to get the 20, 30,000 people up and running first before they come to us. So,
and for okay, again, we'll go ahead and get back on topic. And if the show runs a little long, that's fine with me and Russ as usual. If for some reason you cannot stay past the allotted time, I understand. We'll just wing it. And I don't know how I'll be able to read the chat. If for some reason you cannot stay,
I'll be here as long as we don't stay on too terribly long.
Okay, we're till midnight Central Time, folks. You heard it here. I'm kidding. Lord knows. Sorry for delaying things for you, Jamie. Jamie Page,
No, it's fine.
bloody good friend of mine, and I just love him to death. I mean, our sense of humor is twisted the same. It's just a brother from another mother. And every time I talk to him, I cannot talk normal. Not that I'm known for that, but Jamie Page. We will get into the particulars of what all you're involved with, but go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you on social media, and then we'll get on it.
Okay. How y'all doing? Right, where shall I start? Right, my name is Jamie Page. You can find me on YouTube at JP Woodwork. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JP_Woodwork. You can find me at the Makers International podcast. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find it at the makersinternationalpodcast.com.
.com, I'm telling you. Yes.
.com.
Now you also have what? You had something else. God, I'm talking like that now, and I don't know why. It happens every time I talk to you, but just to make us feel at home. I had a question for you, and it's gone. So I will pass that on. That's normal, Charlie. Dagnabbit. By the way, a huge freaking thank you to everybody that participated and/or watched the show last week. I think it was a booming success. By the next morning, she had 15 members that applied, and I think 7 or 8 of them happened on the show. I don't recall, but I was tickled to death. Even Jamie across the pond here joined, and I really hope to have her back on with some more updated news. But like we said, it's a slow process. But back to Jamie. Okay, Jamie, I'll start by asking, what is you've tried a few tools. Do you have one that you're most passionate about, or do you just kind of, if you're anything like me, number one, I sympathize. Here I am dogging myself again. I don't know why I do that. Do you find yourself getting burned out on one thing and moving to another, or do you just you're trying to balance out your passions when it comes to creating, making, whatever?
When I first started with woodworking, there was nothing I wanted to do but scroll sawing. It's kind of weird. Before I even, as soon as I started taking woodworking seriously, I've answered this a couple of times. I jumped in and I bought a table saw, I bought all sorts of tools, and they've kind of sat in my workshop and done nothing. because I don't really need them. Do you know what I mean? And then I've got the scroll saw, and that's all I really want to do. And then a couple of years after that, I kind of discovered wood turning, and there's only so much space you need in a shop for a lathe and a scroll saw,
Yeah.
you know. And then all I really needed after that was a small bandsaw, and that's kind of everything I need. I didn't need a table saw, and I still don't need a table saw.
I rarely need mine, and I use it mainly as a table. I think a lot of us do.
That's exactly what I use mine for.
Luckily, that blade retracts, but I don't want to make it about me. Back to you.
Yeah.
Did I let you finish?
But if truth is, I love my scroll saw and my lathe equally. I used to go into the workshop, and the first thing I jump on is the scroll saw. Now I go out there, and I was messing around on the scroll saw today, and I started doing some of the Queen portrait I was doing, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from that, and I went and done the I went and started messing around on the lathe, and I've done a project on that, which I'll show to you later when we do the show and tell bit.
So see, we had you cradled in the arms of the scroll saw community, and then you met Carl Jacobson.
No.
Carl Jacobson is a bad influence. I wouldn't be.
In actual fact, in Carl's defence, it wasn't Carl that got me into wood turning.
Steve Twaddell, right?
No. It was another English guy called Martin Saban Smith. I'd always watched Carl, and always enjoyed Carl's work, but it was actually a project that Martin done called Golden Fire, and he used airbrushing and it to make it look like the sun, and gold gilt cream, and he basically beat the living hell out of this piece of wood and like texturized it and things like that, and it just looked incredible. He's done a part 2 since, but it was the first one.
That's what would make him stand out from other turners, is the unique finishing aspect of what he does.
He does more, I'm going to say arty sort of pieces, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than functional.
Oh, like artsy, what I call artsy fartsy. So in other words, it's more of a showpiece than a functionality and this and that.
Yeah, kind of.
I had a question. I know this comes as a shock. I'll
keep it going until you you can think of it.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to say, out of all the turners I've met, and this sounds like I'm buttering up, but I'm not. But I have not met a sweeter couple than Carl and Robin Jacobson. I mean, they are so perfect for each other. They're both sweet people to the core. I've never heard a negative word said about them. The only thing negative I have to say is
he's a turner, Charles. You don't have to suck up.
Well, have you ever met Pat Lapp and Paul Jackman?
No, I have not.
Now that's a good couple.
I have a feeling me and Pat Lapp would get along great, but I get what you're I know what you're joking. Oh, that's a good couple right there. I haven't met either one of them. If I can do more of these woodworking shows, I hope to meet more of them. I met people, and there's other people I didn't get to meet that I wish I had. But anyway, back to on topic.
Oh, by the way, Charles, Robin just sent you their kisses on the dang chat for you, I guess.
That to you, baby. I won't tell anybody. Okay. No, Robin. Or of course, when I get done talking to Robin, I usually have to say sorry. It's an inside joke. Anyway, no, very sweet people. But the show's about Jamie. He's sweet, whether or not he'll admit it. He doesn't always show it. But I say that in jest because, I mean, we talk quite a bit, and I finally got to meet somebody else around in his life, but I won't go into detail because I got to respect privacy. Anyway, okay, so your passion is the scroll saw. Is the scroll saw and the lathe all you're really into, or have you ever even delved into anything else?
I've never really. Before scroll saw, I used to do pyrography. Now it's not. It was never ever detailed pyrography. It was it was a stuff as simple as the
Line
best way I
drawings.
could put it. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically silhouettes. Basically, it's basically just silhouettes. It was rubbish.
Yeah, well, I've considered using I'm laughing at myself trying to say pyrography because somebody the other day was trying to say it and they just went wood burning. But I've considered, incorporating that into scroll saw work, and a good example would be either hair on an animal if you want more detail than what's there. Because I mean, even I can't add that much detail, but you could do hair on an animal, texture on an antler. The possibilities are endless. But
without doubt.
It's funny you say that about the wood burning, is because I just had a company the other day send me a wood burner so I can start trying it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to start trying it on, just like Charles said, on some of my scroll saw work, just to see what I can do with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that Lichtenberg thing where you do the lightning and electricity, but I can just see the possibilities of what I'll end up with.
Yeah, try it on your nose first.
Yeah. Say, show is canceled for next week while I have surgery. Congratulations, Russ, on the wood burner. Now I want to talk about things that you're involved in, but I'm trying to keep the focus on you for a while, so it's hard for me because you're involved in so many things over here that I'm trying to think, okay, out of all the scroll saw projects you've done, what was the easiest? What did you learn any lessons? What taught you the most lessons besides patience? Because I know
the most lessons is, the biggest lesson is don't be so judgmental with spiral blades. They can be very, very useful. I spent years hating spiral blades, but they do have their advantages.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a certain degree, I still don't like them. But when you spend 30 odd hours with them, you have no more choice but to like them.
I mean, their ease of use, speaks for itself. The fact that they can cut in any direction is their appeal. Most people's fear of them is they don't feel like they can control them. And I know this show isn't about scrolling, but just to throw it out there, if there are any scrollers listening, although the Russ would tell you that a spiral blade will try to take the path of least resistance, which is true, but on your general average birch ply, I have the camera on Jamie because he's the dude, but I'll go ahead and throw it on me for a second. Let the blade do the cutting. And even I, since 1997, that's a lot of years, I still find myself trying to force it into the blade. Let the blade do the cutting. Yes, it may try to take that path of least resistance, but the longer you get into scrolling with a spiral blade, you will find yourself compensating where needed. And yes, it's impossible to make a straight line dang near, but if you go slightly off, that's the advantage of a spiral blade, is that you can nibble away at the wave.
I agree with you. You don't see it doing that as much on like your Baltic birch plywood, but you do some like woods like pine, just your typical pine from Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. And I said that bad word, by the way. Then yes, it wants to go to the softwood rather than the hardwood.
Yeah, that and things like oak.
I found that if you go slow enough and just, even if you're just holding it there for 10 seconds in the same position, it will eventually cut through that section.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to leave the camera on Jamie since he's the featured guest. But Jamie, I know you probably know this. You sometimes, especially in the beginning of doing it and not being 100% confident, you find yourself, even with the saw running, preparing yourself for the next, set of cuts because if one got away from you, you're afraid it's going to happen again, especially if you get to one of my detailed ones where there's, little small areas. But that, the biggest thing for any scroller to know, and I'm sorry to take it slightly off topic, Jamie, is that that blade cannot go anywhere that you don't allow it to. It really does. It sounds cliche, but it's just practice. Once you learn to use the saw, the rest is just patience. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, I've also found with spiral blades, it kind of hand placement is also a big feature as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier if you're actually, or for me personally, it's a lot easier to do it if you're holding it by the side and like one hand on the side and one hand on top, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Or where, say for example, where you've cut out a big chunk and you can actually grab the wood rather than just having two hands on top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, I know the show isn't about scrolling, but we haven't talked about scrolling in so long. I'm glad you're into it. But one thing that is actually an advantage over a flat blade or straight blade, whatever they call it, you could put your fingers right up next to, because that people talk about the aggression of a spiral blade. I should have saved all this for next week, so I had a topic. But anyway, we still do that. A flat blade, the teeth are all on one side. And some of this might be a big nut to some people. Some people it may not be. That's why you can hurt yourself easier. Now, hurting yourself on a scroll saw is next to impossible unless you're trying. But there are people that accidentally nick themselves with the flat blade because all the teeth are on one side. A spiral blade, you can sit there and tap the blade as it's going full force, and it won't hurt you. The only way to hurt yourself is to run your finger through there and put up with the blood and screams. But but back to Jamie. Now I know you have a love-hate relationship with me because I think you like the challenge. You and Mike both. You like the challenge of a detailed pattern. So you usually, if you're like me, you hate me the way I hate myself during a detailed project, with that sense of pride when you're done.
Well, I kind of, it's kind of like I kind of feel the same way I feel about you is the same way I feel about Andy Berkey.
Oh God, is that good or bad?
It is a kind of the same, and I say that because it's the patterns. It's Andy Berkey he's kind of set the standard of making so high, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I got Seymour Make Better tattooed on my leg.
Yeah.
It's every time I look at that tattoo, it's kind of motivational to me. You know, it's kind of like it makes me step out of my comfort zone. And when I first done that, the Nick Zammit portrait, that was me stepping out of my comfort zone. I'd never done that much detail in a portrait or a scroll saw picture before, ever.
The what portrait? I didn't
in a scroll saw portrait ever.
Oh, ever. Any portrait, okay.
Ever. And I think it was something along the lines of 130 something odd cuts. And I was like, really? And then I done the tiger, and it was something along the lines, I can't remember how many exactly, it was something along the lines of 300 and something. And I was like, holy
poop, yeah. I'm usually too scared to count the amount of cuts.
So yeah, but again, it's Andy, it's Seymour, you know. But when I'm drawing it out and I'm looking at it and I think, I hate you, Charles. But as soon as I finished it, it's one of the things like I've got to jump on that website and I've got to buy another one with a lot more detail because I know it's just going to look absolutely brilliant at the end of it.
Yeah, and I don't mean, and I know. Okay, apparently Russ swallowed a hairball. Again,
I was just choking on all that flattery that Jamie was.
Hey, every now and then it's warranted.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same way because anytime I'm working on my own design, and it's not that I guess I am biased because I like to, promote my stuff by cutting my own designs most of the time anyway. But it is. I have a love-hate relationship with myself because it's not really hard. It's time consuming. If any of it would be hard, it's being fear of your lack of ability to stay on the line, because that's almost impossible. Not impossible, but that's what it is. That's where the fear comes in, is, oh my God, it's going to get away from me and I'm going to break it all to heck. And it does happen. It's called decorative firewood.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But yeah, I forgot what my point was. But yeah, it's one of those things where you in other words, it takes all these little teeny tiny cuts, because most people like to make projects to where every cut they make makes a huge difference in the appearance of the thing. But as you saw with that tiger, which we'll show pictures of here in a little bit, you could do 5 or 6 cuts in a row, and all it is a little bit of detail taken out of that tiger. But I mean,
exactly.
That's what makes it frustrating while you're working on it. But when you're done, I've been known to be by myself going, hell yeah. You know, and it's, go ahead, Russ.
I thought you finished. For some reason, there's sometimes a little lag or pause, so it almost seems like you stop and then you start again.
Well, that's how I talk. Go ahead.
No, this is a lag, so it's not you. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you because you did. You stopped, and it went like. Anyway, what kind of scroll saw do you have, Jamie?
Oh yeah.
I have a Record Power SS16V. It's a 16-inch scroll saw. I guess you could probably compare it to maybe a Harbor Freight scroll saw. I think Sterling had one before he had his DeWalt scroll saw. Something similar.
Is it? I mean, does it have a lot of vibration?
No, not a lot at all.
I know, and I know usually Russ will joke about the Harbor Freight being. I think Frank Tart or Rick Hutchison started the trend of saying a Harbor Freight was a boat anchor, but rest in peace, Frank Tart. But Record Power, that's what I was getting ready to get into. Record Power, you said they're called Record Power, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they actually come to Jamie asking for advice. Although they have the product, they don't use it that much. So they ask for advice to give to other people, and I am so tickled and proud for Jamie that he's gotten recognized in that arena, and the potential of what can happen with that. I mean, I'll let you talk about that, but I'm so happy for you.
They've sent me some blades, some of their blades to try out. When I did the Nick Zammit portrait, what was I doing? I think I was in the middle of doing the Tigers. I had about 6 cuts left to do on the Tiger, and my the tension on the scroll saw broke. And over here we've got a company called Screwfix, and the scroll saw had a 5-year warranty on it, and it had gone out of warranty with Screwfix because it had a year warranty with Screwfix as well. But as the scroll saw still had a 5-year warranty with Record Power, I could still claim the warranty via them. So I contacted Record Power and said, look, the scroll saw's broken and such. And what I had noticed a few days earlier was Record Power had started up an Instagram account, and they had shared my picture, or they had screenshotted my video, showing that I had done that picture on their scroll saw. So I just randomly got talking to the guy, saying, I saw your Instagram posts of me doing the picture, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. Well, I hung up the phone, and they were going to come and pick up the scroll saw to be fixed on the Monday. And about 2-3 minutes later, I get a phone call back saying, don't worry about sending the scroll saw back. We're sending you out a brand new one with a pack of blades, so you can carry on and get going, basically. And within 2 days, I had a brand new scroll saw here.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, I can't put it into words. I mean, it's like people that get discovered for acting or modeling. They came across you, and the bond started, and I think it's going to keep on looking up for you. And I'm so happy for you.
They've messaged me a couple of times asking me questions on like what's the quick release knob I've got on there, how do I get easy access to the bottom tension, and I've messaged them back and all this sort. But if I quickly screen share with what scroll saw I've got.
Yeah, and I guess while you're screen sharing, we should probably after that go into pictures of your work. But go ahead, it's all on you.
That's the scroll saw I've got. It's not actually got that lamp on it. It's got a bigger lamp than that on it.
All right.
Actually, let's see if I can find one with the lamp on it.
You said that was a 16-inch?
Yeah, it's a 16-inch scroll saw.
Okay, for those that are brand new to scroll sawing, when they say 16-inch, It's from where the blade goes through the table to the back of that throat. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain the throat unless Jamie can point at it with his cursor. To the where the curl in that C arm looking thing. That is from there to the blade. That is what they're saying when they say 16 inch. That's the depth from the blade to there.
Yeah.
And back to you, Jamie.
All right. So, what did you want to look at first? Scroll sawing or wood turning or?
Well, you talked about your passion. I guess whatever direction you'd like to go in, but we could end it with scroll sawing if you want, or however you want to do it.
Well, let's have a look at the tiger up close first. Here's the tiger that I did first. So yeah, that took me 30 hours to do, and there's actually two of them there. I done it, and I don't actually sit down to do scroll saw because it hurts my back. So I had to do it in a stage of a few days, obviously. So the first day I stood for 6 hours. The second day I stood for 5 hours. Then I had to take a couple of days off.
Yeah, and you can spend 3 hours and it looks like you haven't done much because not much of an area has changed.
Exactly. and that was depressing. I think that the first day I think I got up to maybe this corner done. I think.
You stand up to scroll saw?
Yeah.
And I get why you're talking about your back, but my back is to killing me if I'm standing up. But go ahead, back to you.
So yeah, I mean, after I'd done, I mean, obviously I left all of which is another tip for everybody. Leave, like, for example, this bit here. I left all these bits here till last because there's a lot of really fragile pieces.
Yeah.
And they can get caught and easily snap because obviously they're really, really thin. So when you're moving about the scroll saw and you're cutting them out, save the inner pieces because you can tape them back in.
Yep.
And it acts as like a I don't know what's it, like a plug and a clamp if you like, so it stop it from wiggling about.
Yeah.
You know, say for example this bit here or that bit there. If you were to move that in, that could easily catch on the side of the scroll saw and snap off. Now, after you've spent God knows how many hours working and that snaps off, you're not going to be very happy.
No. Especially with me.
Yeah. So if you were to cut all of that out and then tape it back in to hold it, you'll have all of that secured, and these bits here aren't going to move.
And the one thing I find is that, I mean, the smart way to do it as far as stability is like you're saying, do the little areas first and then the bigger ones. But I find myself wanting instant gratification. That temptation to cut out the larger pieces so it looks like I've done more, or more of the detail it's showing is there. But ideally, you need to start with a little bitty detail because the whole piece stays more stable.
Yeah, exactly. You got a few people asking whose pattern is that?
Whose pattern is it?
I wasn't going to say.
I made it.
That is a Charles Deering pattern.
Well, I actually drew it out, but I ripped it off of Charles's site.
Awesome. He's an honest thief.
I ripped it off, but it cost me $9, I think.
Oh, hey, even Robin recognized it. Robin put out there, yes, that's a Charles pattern.
Yeah, and that really is flattering when somebody can see a pattern and say that's a Charles Deering pattern, and that's really flattering.
That actually happened on Instagram as well. I posted this picture on my Instagram, and someone instantly noticed it was your pattern.
That's very flattering, but I mean, it's heartwarming.
Actually, no, tell a lie. It wasn't this picture. It was just the drawing of it.
Yeah.
So, but there's both of them together.
Yeah, they are. That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
And that's actually better. Do you have a way to zoom in on that? Because with the other one being stat cut, it was at a slight angle. From here, you can actually see better detail.
It's gone a bit blurry.
Yeah, you could definitely see the detail more than you could on that last picture because it's at a better angle, I guess. But man, those did turn out gorgeous. And I'm not saying that because they're my design. I mean that's museum quality work right there.
Yeah, They come out really well. I was really happy with them.
Not so happy with me, but happy with them.
Yeah, I weren't happy with you while I was doing them. I'll tell you that for nothing.
You and Miter Mike both
Yeah.
have amazed me with y'all's ability to grasp the hobby or craft and take off with it.
Yeah, and I weren't smiling in this picture because I've just woken up and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had
Take
to
the
go
bloody picture.
Yeah, I had to go and drop one of these off, and I was sort of like, "Come on, have your picture taken."
You said you donated one of those. You donated it to a zoo?
I donated one of them to my auntie's wildlife park.
Awesome.
Yeah, they've got 2 tigers there called Blade and Troy.
Awesome.
I think it went for about $400, just under, around that sort of area.
Very nice.
Al Forte, Katie Dotson, Tom Spillane, also beautiful, amazing.
This is right when I was right when I just got started. This was
What wood?
in
What wood?
Scroll
They want to know what wood the tigers were made in.
just plywood.
Baltic birch. Plywood?
Just birch plywood. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is basically just when I think I've been scrolling about a year doing these ones. This is right when I very first started scrolling. So this is on a real cheap pin blade scroll saw. All this stuff that I'm just showing you now.
And that's Bob Marley, and a good example to mention because of that. You don't have to have ultra detail to make something recognizable because whoever designed that, they got it to look like Bob Marley and didn't go ape crap on the detail. And I'm still trying to train myself to do that, but that's a good beginner piece, and you did good on it.
Yeah, that's a ping pong gun that I made on the scroll saw. There's actually video footage somewhere of me shooting that.
I was going to say, I'm surely somewhere you got pictures or video of you using that on somebody.
I've actually there's a video somewhere of my cousin's son firing at my auntie and giving her a black eye.
Oh my Lord!
Not intentionally.
Jamie, stop!
No, the ping pong ball obviously floats all over the place in the wind and all that lot, so it wasn't intentional.
Our sweet innocent Jamie wouldn't do that.
No, it wasn't me that shot it. It was my cousin's son. Pink Floyd. So
I don't know what they look like. So, but I can see the simplicity. Yet you can tell who it is.
Yeah.
All in all, just another brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know of them. I just don't know what they look like.
You got Dave Gilmore, Roger Waters, Nick Mason, and I can't remember the other guy's name now.
We don't need no
it comes to me in a minute.
Karaoke with Russ. Here's our background music.
This is an English band called Oasis. That's Noel and Liam Gallagher.
Well, the one on the left kind of almost looks like one of the Beatles.
It's funny you say that because he kind of models himself.
Yeah,
they both love the Beatles.
I mean, I can tell it's not, but in the same aspect. John, I guess it was John Lennon.
Yeah, it's funny to say John Lennon is his idol, and he's actually named his first son Lennon.
Oh, okay. Well,
now I've noticed a couple of these have had intentional floaters like the faces. Did you find that to be easy, and or kind of a pain in the butt? Kind of,
yeah. It was. I don't know really. It was basically just winged it, you know.
Yeah. Anytime you're dealing with intentional. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's all right.
Again, if there's any beginning scrollers watching, anytime you have what's called an intentional floater, it's not impossible. Just save the waist piece around it, like where you see black behind that guy. Save that waist piece. You put it in there. Put glue on. If you have a backer, put glue on that floater, and use that waist piece in place as like a puzzle. And then you pull the waist piece out when the glue dries, and boom.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I think it adds to realism, in my opinion. So I've been doing a lot of intentional floaters lately.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that was that one there. One of my mum's friends. She's a big fan of that band. They were big in the 90s, and I gave her this like as a birthday present, and she ended up crying her eyes out.
Now,
Aw.
question for you, real quick: when you put that face back into the one on the left, did you save the pieces or just line it up?
No, I just randomly lined it up.
Okay.
So that was kind of beginner's luck, I guess.
I mean,
That looks right.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, there's such an open area that you really, you never know in a million years. But I know
that was beginner's luck.
like Charles says, when you cut out eyes, if you'll save the pieces around them and they're intentional floaters, you can put them back in and then spot the piece to glue it on.
I guess if it was probably smaller, I would probably get like use the cutout or something like that. But if it's a bigger piece, then I guess it's easier to wing it, I suppose, because you can line it up with the edges and.
Yeah, one guy that is definitely, and I know this show is about you, but one guy, as much as I hate to say it, because he's a smart aleck, cocky little guy, but he's a good guy. And I know you know who I'm talking about, Justin Christensen. His work consists of floaters, and God, the patience he must have.
His work is beautiful.
Yeah, I hate to say it because it's fun to give him crap, but he's definitely made his mark in the community. But back to you, Seth.
Yeah. Okay, this one here is the very, very first ever scroll saw portrait I ever done.
Very nice.
I done that 4 months after owning a scroll saw. I'd never ever seen a scroll saw before. And this was the very first one I ever done.
Very good. Well, if you tell who it is, that right there, that says a lot.
Who is it?
John Lennon.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I should have known.
The only thing I'm a bit disappointed with is the wood there. The wood was a bit crap, and I sanded it down too much.
Went through the top layer of veneer.
Went through the top layer of veneer, so it was kind of like the stuff you put under the flooring or something like that. So it was kind of
like Luann, whatever.
Yeah,
I wish.
I'm
sorry. I wish Home Depot and Lowe's would carry more quality.
Yeah, I know
it's not
what we have.
I know it's not cost effective to these stores, but there are places online to buy wood. But I just wish Home Depot and Lowe's would have stuff that was that good enough quality that if you sand through it or scroll it, it won't chip all the heck. I mean, that's so heart wrenching when you want to put time into a project and you got crap wood and you don't know it until you cut into it or sanded it. We go back to you, sir.
Yeah. So there's another one that I did a while ago.
That's a very good pattern.
Yeah, that was just again just messing about. But there's another intentional floater. So I know there's a couple there actually, and the rows.
Another example of it, and there's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I've done that for my mum's friend at work, I think.
Cool. Do you recall where you got all these designs so far, or has it been so long?
I think it was off the internet, off Google, I think. I believe so. Some of the pictures I've got, people just come round to the house and just said, "Look, are you able to do this?" I said, "I don't know. I'll give it a go." I said, "I can't promise you nothing. I've only just started." Sometimes it's beginner's luck. A few times it was, nah, that ain't happening.
Well, it seems like all the choices you made.
And obviously that's the first Charles Deering portrait I've done, which you can actually see in the background of all of NZ Woodturning's videos.
Yeah, NZ Woodturning is the channel of the guy that portrait is of, and Jamie made that for him.
Yep. So yeah, Nick Zametti.
Never gotten to speak to him, but
yeah, he's a good guy.
Very good work. And I mean, patience speaks for itself. Was there any floaters on that one? I think the light in the eyes might have been.
No. Oh yeah, the light, the eyeballs were, but that wasn't a problem. I just used tweezers and dabbed that down. But that apart from that was it.
Very nice, very nice.
So that one took how long did it take? I think it was either 7 or 9 hours. Yeah, I think it took 9 hours, but there was 7 hours of recording.
Yeah, when you
And I-
record, it takes longer.
Yeah.
I hope
So-
Nick is watching.
I don't know. He's a very busy man. So
Yeah.
okay, let's get some wood turning. Actually, let's look at this one here first. I made this post box for my cousin's wedding.
Very cool.
It's a full size replica of an old square post box. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
yeah, that was she was quite happy with that. So yeah,
looks good.
that was quite good.
Was that done from
You did-
plans? Out of your, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Russ.
No, I was going to say, you made the entire thing on a scroll saw, or just the letters to put on it?
No, just the letter to put on the scroll saw. The rest of it was done with a mixture of the bandsaw and the table saw. A lot of it was done on the scroll saw.
So he did use his table saw at least once.
I've used it at least once. Yeah, yeah. Like the little. I actually done quite a bit of it on the scroll saw. Actually, I cut the door out. I cut that bit there out on the scroll saw. Cut that bit there out on the scroll saw. If I'm able to get away with cutting things on a scroll saw, then I'll cut it out on the scroll saw.
Yeah.
That's me too. I mean, there's a lot of things around the shop that a lot of people would cut or do it with some other thing, and I'll just throw it on the scroll saw because it's 10 times
Yeah,
easier.
Yeah, because some people call it a saber saw, some people call it a jigsaw. But I tried a project with a jigsaw, and I found that I had an easier time using the scroll saw because I'm so used to compensating for the flex in the blade of a scroll saw that I don't like it when it may be the quality of the jigsaw I was using, but that blade likes to lean one direction or another. Oh, that's a walnut.
yeah. That's the very first pen I ever turned.
Very nice.
I got the very first one I ever turned to.
Yeah, I've
Is
still
that a
I've
slimline?
still got it. Sorry.
Is that a slimline pen kit?
Yeah, that's a slimline one.
I
Yeah,
thought so. Yeah, that's the first one I ever turned was a slimline.
yeah. So yeah, that was a walnut one I done.
Very good.
This pot here, I won this tool in the flat pack challenge, and I turned this pot here using only this tool.
Wow.
So I even roughed it all out using that. It took a lot of sandpaper to
I
to
imagine.
get it like that.
That's a lidded thing, right?
Yeah, a lidded pot. But I've done everything using that tool.
Wow. I mean, knowing that's more impressive than well, no, that sounds like a cut down. I was gonna say that's more impressive than the actual piece, but knowing you did that piece with just that one tool.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
there's the wood's not great, and there's a lot of kind of chip out all over the place. But yeah.
Wow, that's definitely impressive. Knowing you used such a sharp, angled tool to do all that hogging out, that had to have taken forever.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the reason I put them ridges on it like that is to kind of hide some of the
Flaws.
the flaws, if you like.
Jamie Page has flaws.
I don't. The woodwork does.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this one is pear wood. I don't turn that from my uncle.
Very nice.
pear wood, as in pear tree, like you get.
Like the fruit. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've never found a pear tree that big around. I had one that was like
everyone
6
I've ever
inches
seen
across.
isn't that big around either. So
Yeah, I can't remember where I got that blank from. I bought it from a company that sold like a selection pack. So that was really, really beautiful wood. That was.
Does it have an aroma when it's cutting? Because I don't remember.
It was really nice.
Awesome.
Really nice.
Awesome.
So
I like the sheen on that.
you even got real nice shavings coming off it, even with carbides.
It looks like it's a lathe-friendly wood.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. It was.
Very good sheen.
There's obviously the Berkey bowl.
The Berkey bowl. How did you do that band across it?
That's got milliput inside of it.
Oh, milliput. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
That stuff's a little more expensive than I would expect, but I've seen it used many times.
It is quite expensive, but it's real good stuff and worth it if you depending on what you want to use it for, because it cures underwater as well.
For people that don't know what milliput is, can you sort of elaborate a little bit?
Milliput is like a epoxy putty resin, and people use it for modelling and like fixing leaks, if you like radiators on your car, radiators at home. It's basically used. They use it for modelling mainly.
Now, when you say that, do you, since it's epoxy, do you have to mix like two?
Yeah. What you do is it's a bit like Play-Doh, if you like. You get two when you buy the box. It gets you get like two tubes, and you get two equal parts, and you basically mix it together till it's an equal color, and then you just mix it in. It takes about 8 hours to cure, but I not obviously leave it overnight, and it goes rock hard.
Yeah,
So,
that's one thing I've heard about is that stuff is like, you could dent a cinder block with that stuff. It's so hard. But
yeah.
if last I looked at milliput, they're pretty limited on their colors, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so. There's another company called, I think it's called Epoxy Pup or something like that have a lot more colours, like reds, blues, greens, that sort of colours.
Well, I definitely dress that bowl up. I mean,
Yeah, I
So,
like that. We have our in the hobby shops around here, that polymer clay that you knead and then put it into something and then bake it for a few minutes and it gets really hard. I like that. I've used it.
yeah, I've heard about that.
I believe milliput is a UK based thing, isn't it?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I couldn't tell you that.
Alrighty then.
How did you do the face in the bottom of the bowl?
I just got a Dremel and just carved it out.
So you carved it out and then put the milliput in it.
Yeah, that's right. And then cut it, and then just cut it back with a chisel.
Because I almost thought you might have drew that in there, but that's pretty cool.
No. I originally drew it and then carved around where the drawing is.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Then obviously you got this one here. I was just messing around with a bit of segmenting.
That's beautiful. That's is it sapele?
No, that's
However you say it.
Sycamore and oak.
Okay, so I suck at identifying. Well, that's pretty good oak, because oak usually looks more. What's the words I'm looking for, Russ? Looks more woodish. Well, I mean, because that usually has a tighter grain. That seems to have a looser grain. So that's actually a beautiful piece of oak. The bowl itself is beautiful.
Got some. What did I get? I got some spindles from a yard sale. We call it a boot fair, but I think you guys call it like a yard sale. It's like a load of cars getting together in a big field and sell stuff out the back of them.
Oh, cool. That's very nice. I've never seen oak with the grain that wide.
So yeah, it's quite nice. I've actually still got quite a bit of it. It turns really nicely as well.
Now, when you say that's oak, did the oak come from over where you're at, or did it come from the US of A?
I'll presume it would have come from where we are.
Okay, I'm just wondering. I mean, this is a stupid question, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe their oak is a little bit different than our oak over here as far as
maybe the moisture or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the way it grows, because I'm looking at that going like, that doesn't look like our typical oak.
Yeah, because the grain is so that's gorgeous. Even up close, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very nice, very nice.
What else we got? Some tea light holders that I made.
I thought that was like a recessed ceiling light. I'm looking at it inverted.
No.
I mean, I was looking at it inverted. That's my eyes.
Can we see it like that?
Well, yeah, my mind was inverting it. That's
neat. There you go. That's what it looked like afterwards.
And that looks like a pretty standard wood, almost pine, but maybe not.
I can't remember what that was, to be honest.
I said Stark Reykjavik Lunatic over in the chat says the color of oak that we get here in Australia is a little bit different too. So it may be, oak tree is an oak tree, but in the area where it grows, it might come out a little different.
Geographically different. Yep.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah,
English oak gets a lot wetter. Well, yeah, I guess that could be true.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Now, is the only hollow portion of that where the tea light goes in?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
So right, you got this there. There's bits of this I weren't very happy with, like these darker lines there on the red is just basically where it weren't sanded properly, and I didn't notice it until after I took it off the lathe, or after I put the colour on and things like that. So
I assume that middle part is dipped down like a bowl.
yeah, it's dipped down like a bowl. This is actually maple. This is.
Oh,
So I don't know where you can see it.
simply lovely.
So and this stain around here is actually food colouring.
Yeah, I use that a lot too.
Yeah, Russ is familiar with food color. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love to work with it. And I hear so many people tell you, "Oh, it fades, it don't last." I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I've got stuff that I did 5 years ago, and it still looks.
Oh, it doesn't.
As long as it lasts long enough to give it away, and then you're not responsible.
Yeah.
The funny one about this is that I literally just finished it and brought it in, put it on the table, and my auntie turned around and says, "I'm having that." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "At least let me take a picture of it first."
I'm having that. Well, I'm having $50.
So that was the very first sphere I ever turned.
That's good. I never could.
Which is definitely beginner's luck, and I've actually got it right next to me.
And that's
so I can actually show you that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that in person. That's gorgeous. That's completely, perfectly spherical.
Robin says over in the chat that you haven't shown the pic of Carl.
Yeah, the scroll saw portrait.
Carl and I. All right, hey, you didn't show the pic of Carl and I you made, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah,
I don't know where that is at the moment. I'll have to get that on my Instagram, I think.
Oh, you're saying you threw it away? Wow, really?
That sounds funny to hear Russ talking like me. Yeah, Jamie.
I'll grab that off my Instagram.
What kind of wood is that? That really is a beautiful sphere. I mean, the grain and it's like
to be honest, I think that was I honestly can't remember, to be honest.
I've never tried a sphere, but that looks neat.
Yeah.
I generally don't know. I think this was just pallet wood because I think I was just messing around.
It's a bloody beautiful palette. Does it have a stain on it, or is that the natural color?
No, this is just a natural color. I think I just put baby oil or something like that on it, or mineral oil.
They're not as hard as when I first tried to turn one. I was thinking like, man, this is going to be about the roughest thing I've ever done, but it's actually kind of easy.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it's you're just trying to round over until you get it completely round, but that's a whole nother show. But
I mean, the first one was like it came out like that, but once I started going smaller for the Makers Make It Matter project I wanted to do, then it just became a pain in the rear end.
Yeah.
Rob, go on.
I was going to say, Robin, if you're listening, I'd like to get Carl on at some point to turn the sphere for us.
Oh yeah, just to show me up.
No, it's just I didn't realize.
So I know what you're talking about.
Because people don't really stop and think about how a sphere is made, and that I really am impressed by that. It's such a simple thing, but the grain choice, the fact that it doesn't look like a messed up attempt at a sphere. It looks like a sphere, and I really like that.
Yeah. Okay, so back to there now. Right, so that's all the pictures here. So you want to see some show and tell stuff now, yeah?
Sure.
Right, let's get back to you then. So let's clear this and clear that.
All right.
Get to the hangout. Right, here's the
sphere. Very nice.
So yeah, there's the sphere that I did. So right, yeah. So I was out in the that I mentioned earlier, and like I said, I went out there, and the first thing I did was I went on a scroll saw, started on the Queen for a little while, and thought I'd take a break for a little while, and I went on the lathe, and I did a Steve Twidell inspired project.
Wow.
And I can't even remember what this is going to be called. Oh, it's you.
How do you spell that?
YEW.
What? I've never even heard of that. That looks similar, except for it's not consistently orange, but it looks similar to. It's either called Bodark or Osage Orange. But that's a very unique color. I like the way the knot goes all the way through it, and it kind of accents the ends of it. That's very neat.
Yeah. So
Be like a chip tray, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Steve Twidell inspired piece because he does a lot of that kind of stuff. He kind of takes pieces of useless wood and makes it useful, if you like.
Now, when you started lathe turning, I keep saying if you're anything like me, but I think a lot of lathe turners, you have a new appreciation for firewood. You're a lot more selective about what you put in the fireplace because it's like, man, that could be pretty. I don't want to burn that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because it's funny you say that because the next piece I was just about to show you, Cole done on his channel like a rotten apple, if you like, and I found a piece of wood out in my shop, and it had it looked like it had been eaten away at something, and I thought, well, it's a little bit too thin to do like an apple sort of shape in my eyes. So, and I don't want to go doing anything like Cole, so I thought I'd do like a rotten pear.
That's funny. That works. It's funny you talked about eating that, but the first peach thing I tried was a peach tree from my yard. I didn't let it dry out or nothing. I cut it down. I cut a little section, and it had wormholes in it. And it wasn't until I was done turning it that I realized there were actually slugs inside of it, and they were coming out after I turned it. I said, those poor things are so bloody dizzy. But no, that's a neat pair if you want to keep holding that up, because I was babbling the whole time.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
That's now I assume something like that you got to very, very gently cut it so it doesn't catch inside the rotted area or the chewed up area.
Well, I span it really, really fast, so
high speed.
Yeah, less chance of it catching.
And you even got the stem on there. That's pretty cool.
That is actually cool.
Yeah, got a stem on there as well, so it's all one piece.
So you won't impress me, do a rotted banana.
do an off-center one.
Yeah, those banana bowls, they are possible. I can't remember how to do it now because it's been a while. But
I did one a while back, and I think Rich McNabb put a challenge out a while ago. But
now with a banana shape, you're turning it twice, right, from two different directions?
No.
Okay, so I'm not remembering the right thing. So just forget I said that. No, Charles, I'm a lathe aficionado. I should know this.
Okay, this is a little pot I made with pencils and 2-part epoxy.
Very nice. That is too cool.
So yeah, I was just messing around a little while ago. You can actually see through the 2-part epoxy as well.
Is the interior worthy of showing? Not to question your abilities. Some people don't like to show the inside.
Cool.
That is too cool.
I like the way how the pencils go down. That's cool.
That is too very nice. Yeah. What was the other wood? Looks like a real.
I think it may have been that oak again, to be honest. No, it wasn't. I'm not sure what this oak. What this oak.
I suck at identifying wood.
No, I'm really not sure what this was, to be honest.
Are you going to ignore Robin on the Carl Robin picture?
I'm not sure where that is, guys. If we keep talking, then after I've done this, I'll quickly go on my Instagram and grab it.
All right.
All right. This one, I've actually got a video on this one.
Yeah.
And this is my dark side of the moon bowl.
What'd you call it?
The dark side of the moon bowl.
Oh, that is cool. That is very cool.
Pink Floyd.
Was that also food coloring?
Oh no, that's just permanent markers.
Oh, that made too much sense. That's very neat, and I can see why you called it that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's got all the colours of the prism in it.
Very nice, very nice.
So now this one here is a bowl that I called Broken, because it's got the
Now, how the heck do you do that without it falling apart?
with great difficulty.
I was going to say, he said with great difficulty. I was going to say very careful.
Yeah, that
I'll
is
tell you
neat.
what, a couple of times I've got as the bowl was spinning, my fingers went.
Oh God, yes, especially when you're trying to sand it. Oh God, that is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of hand sanding with the lathe off. Believe me. So
That is very nice. What kind of wood is that? I love the ripple effect on the grain.
I got this is I think this is European beech.
That is awesome.
I
Even
believe.
the grain on that is nice and flowing and no set pattern. I like that. The interior
It's
and
got
the
a bit of
exterior.
CA glue at the bottom because it started cracking.
Yeah, that'll happen. I don't know how those professional lathe guys do it, where they have bowl blanks drying up in there on a shelf for years. I'm too impatient. I want to see what it looks like, and so I pay the price later. That's gorgeous. That's what I would call a modern art piece.
What I with this one, I put this on the lathe when it was the full blank, and turned the lathe on with it as low as it will possibly go, and my lathe basically jumped into my arms.
yeah, that'll happen.
And I was like, oh damn.
That's scary.
So it was a case of basically pull the plug out with the lathe in my hand, and that's still going.
Well, how far did that, for lack of a better way of putting it, rotted piece, how far towards the center did that go? All the way?
It basically, can you see it there?
Yeah.
So it's not that far away from the center, but there's a center there. Oh, there. Oh, there's the center there.
I love the grain on that.
So
that is so cool.
What'd you say? Wood was it?
I think it's European beech. I believe it was anyway. I think I put a post. I got given a load of logs a while ago, and no one could work out what it was. And the closest we could work out was European beech.
I hate it when I know what the wood was. I turned it, and then 6 months later it goes, oh, well, what kind of wood that? And I'm going like, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I mean, I think some people will actually put on the bottom of a bowl what kind of wood it is, or
yeah. So
that's pretty cool. That's something I wouldn't mind having in my house if you ever feel like just throwing, giving something away.
I might see if I can do that for you.
Aw.
Right, I'm going on my Instagram now. If you want to ask me some questions, I'll see if I can drag up that picture.
Okay, you have a couple things coming up, not you specifically, but you got the, you told me earlier, and I can't remember the name of it, it's a big UK thing happening. Maker, what the heck was it?
Maker Central.
Maker Central, yeah.
That's next year, isn't it? Next May.
Yeah, it's the 5th and 6th of May, 2018.
And of course, Carl and Robin are going. I think Sterling is trying to.
I might try to go to that. It's just, it's going to depend on being able to make reservations after the first of the year, because I ain't doing nothing until after the first of the year.
Lord, I can't even. I mean, call me a pity party, but I can't even imagine the cost. So I'll just say, y'all have fun.
I looked up a round ticket the other day just out of curiosity when I first learned about it, and it was like $800-900 just for a round.
Googly moogly, dude! I'm not worth that much.
Yeah.
Well, the other day I believe it was it? No, it was on YouTube. Carl Jacobson turned a Dumbledore's, a replica of Dumbledore's wand from Harry Potter. Harry Potter. I got my syllables wrong. Harry Potter, and he's giving it away at that thing. And I was in the chat saying, "Do you have to be present to win? Because I want that, but I can't go to the dang UK." But that was a very nice, very nice thing. Now it goes without saying for those that do follow Jamie, but he's also a one of 4 or 5 guys, Makers International Podcast. Chris Cute, Richard Morley, Alan Robinson, Joe Whitaker, and Jamie Page. However many people that is.
Yep, 5.
And seems to be a quite successful show. They do it live, and then they will upload the edited version. And
Yeah.
and I think it's neat to see the perspective of 5 different people on a topic. And
There we go. I
Yep.
found it.
alrighty then, don't forget to screen
Right,
share. So
yeah, I will do. There we go.
ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jacobson and Robin Jacobson. I mean, yeah, Carl and Robin Jacobson.
All right.
And you can tell who they are. That is the magic behind it.
I was going to say, Charles, they're
Yeah.
married. They have the same last name.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually made that one. So I think it could have come out a bit better to me. You could definitely see that that's Carl, but you have to know that that's Robin to know that that's Robin.
Yeah, because light colored hair is hard to do, but you definitely tell that's Carl, and even the grain of the wood favored his face more because it followed the contour of a face, and that kind of worked out.
Yeah.
I've always thought Robin was prettier than Carl, but I think Carl looks a tiny bit better in that picture. No offense, Robin. No, I just lost Robin, so that's very nice, very nice.
All right.
Would you like to elaborate on Makers International podcast?
What would you like to know about us, apart from the fact that the only reason I'm there is because they begged me?
Okay, so that would be 4:30. Is it 4 or 4:30 on Sundays Central Time?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it starts at 4:30 Eastern Standard or 9:30 UK time. We run for an hour on the Makers International YouTube channel. Then what happens is you all come over, sit in a chat room, ask all your questions, whatever you want. If we've got a guest on, I will ask boxes or briefs.
Yeah, that's his thing.
And then what happens is after the show, it gets the video gets taken down. We extract the audio, and it all gets re-uploaded to iTunes, SoundCloud, re-uploaded to YouTube. And if there's any curse words, which there usually is, Joe
those out.
Yeah, Joe's got a bit of a foul mouth. It will put some sort of funny bleeping noise into it or something.
Now each one of y'all has a duty behind the scenes on that show, right? You said duty. You know what I meant.
Duty.
I mean, after the show goes off, aren't each one of y'all doing something towards the production or the final product, so to speak?
Yeah, we'll do something to keep the show going. Like I do this, like the social media, the website. Alan does a SoundCloud, and Chris does a lot of the pictures and the audio, and Richard does his bits and bobs.
Hey,
Yeah,
Charles,
we all do something.
show and tell him where you want to take us off of.
Presenting. Hello, Russ.
Hello.
How are you? You're the only one here without a banner. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's been a long time since I've been able to see you.
I know, but most people. Never mind. I gotta stop dogging myself. I am good, and I'm special, and I'm handsome. Don't.
Yeah, he's also a liar.
I know I know you're special, but I don't know about the handsome.
Oh, come on now. I was trying to tell myself this. on a separate note, if any of y'all ever notice that sometimes my facial hair is darker, it's because every time somebody guesses, because when I have this skin condition, just totally off topic. I have a skin condition called vitiligo. There's like no pigment here. It's almost like an albino, but it's only partial. So my facial hair comes in bright white. So when again, respecting privacy, but Jamie introduced me to somebody.
Go for it.
Jamie's girlfriend. I finally got to meet her, and something about age came up.
She thought you were like 70 years old or something.
I said, "Let me guess, you think I'm in my 50s, right?" And she went, "No, older." And I said, "Oh, son of a." So the next day I colored my facial hair again because of her. But no, I've been doing it because I don't know why it matters to me, but I don't want to look like no offense to anybody in their 50s or 60s. I'm 47. People think I'm in my late 50s, early 60s. I was like, I don't look like this. Why do y'all think that? Lord knows I don't act old.
I have my daughter Amber has that same thing.
Vitiligo?
Yeah. Yep. It's not quite as extensive as yours, but she has the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even without the vitiligo, you don't want to see me naked, but definitely you don't want to see me naked with vitiligo. I'm so sorry the show went there.
I'm not saying a word.
We just lost 18 viewers. I'm kidding.
I think everybody just fell out of the chat. No.
Yes, stop picturing me naked, you perverts. I'm trying
There ain't nobody over in the chat anymore. They all gone.
I'm so sorry y'all had to visualize that. And as soon as y'all get done vomiting in the bucket, join us back here on the show. Jamie, was there anything else I had talked to you before the show about that we haven't brought up? Or because
not that I can think of.
All right. I don't have a guest lined up for next week because of people either work. I am still trying to get Kenny Hopkins back on, but for personal reasons, he had to cancel that one time, and he had to work this Friday. I'm also trying to get Sterling Davis on at some point. But any of you viewers, if there's somebody specific you would like to see on, and I'm not one of these people saying, what do you want to talk about? If there's somebody you'd like to see, throw me a message on Facebook or however you can find me. My email address, I believe, is in the description of every video. But if there's somebody you want to see that I haven't thought of, by God, let me know. And the reason why it's such a struggle for me, even though my show is, a separate show from Russ's and anybody else that's ever done a show, I try not to get the same guests everybody else has had, because I want to give some newbies a chance, even not newbies, more so unknowns, I guess, and or people you don't see on every show. And that's not anything against the people that are on every show, but that's why you see me sometimes struggle, or you'll see the title of the show called Winging It, is because I want to try to, have that appeal to that audience of somebody that hasn't been on before. But, there again, sometimes it just overlaps, and that's how we work things. But, yeah, still trying to get Sterling Davis on. No, I'm not committing him to it. But again, he's working on the store-related stuff having to do with the hurricane. Kenny Hopkins, hopefully I can get him on. Kenny Hopkins is he's presently a designer that gives away his designs, but very good quality designs. I believe Jamie was in the hangout when we were showing it. I don't know if Russ was or not. It may have been. Kenny Hopkins was on the panel when we had Mark Christopher on. So if you remember Mark, if you can get past remembering Mark Christopher showing his nipples, yeah, Kenny Hopkins was on that panel. So I hope to have him on at some time. But again, anybody you'd like to see on the show, drop me a note, and if I can get more than one person that's interested, or if whatever, I will try to get them on. And again, a huge thank you to everybody that participated in the show last week and ended up getting 15 new people to Scroll Saw Association of the World. If you have not seen that show, please go check it out. Don't forget about Rush's show tomorrow night if it happens. If it does not, if he's not able to post on social media, hopefully he can reach me by cell phone, and I will somehow get the word out if he's not able to do a show, but hopefully he'll be able to let us know. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to bring up. There
was one thing I wanted to, one other thing I just quickly wanted to show everyone before we left.
All right, you there?
I'm into Photoshops as well.
I love it.
Don't show that other one because it's not family friendly. But that was funny.
I kind of do Photoshops as well.
Yeah, he's a Photoshop freak. Of course, he makes me look. But I have pretty nice legs there, I gotta say. I got to give myself that. I mean, I was talking about you don't want to picture me naked. You might want to now.
So many people are going like, my eyes.
We're ending the show like a wrecking ball.
Yeah. Now, Jamie, as much as you may want to, seriously, the family friendliness of the show, we cannot show that other one you did.
Oh, don't worry.
As much as it made Russ laugh, cry. He was laughing so hard. But
I know, I did. I was actually
Oh, Jamie, I love you.
Jim
Okay.
he wants to know. He's got to bleach his eyes now.
Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Just, are we fixing to wind down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just to let everybody know that may be joining us now that wasn't in the beginning, if you don't mind me taking a second. I will try my best to have a show tomorrow night. It's all going to depend on the weather. And we'll just have to wait and see. And then definitely, I'm almost 90% positive I will not have a Twitch show this coming Wednesday because there's not going to be any power in Florida for the next week, they're saying. And then next Saturday show is iffy also. So if y'all guys will just bear with me and be there and ready for me when I come back, I would appreciate it. And what else was this?
Well, we always have to brace ourselves for you, so we're ready for it.
and then the palette drawings for the winners or for the prizes actually is on hold until number one Sterling is involved in the company he works for. He's going to probably have to come to Florida for some of the stores that are getting damaged. So that puts him out. And then without power and everything, we can't get together. So it may be 2 or 3 weeks before we can get together and have the show where we do the drawing. So y'all just be patient. Sorry, I didn't plan on a hurricane coming and visiting, and I damn sure don't like the name Irma anymore.
Yeah, and then we all know life gets in the way of the best of intentions, but also now on the palette, no, not the palette. Is it the palette? Yeah, the palette up. I'm paying attention, really, I am.
Dave Gatton is smart. I have to tell you this. Dave Gatton's out there, and he says, Russ has a show?
There's Dave. There's Dave. I'm glad somebody finally said it to Russ instead of me. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Love you, Dave Gatton. I love you a lot.
Well, he won't be on my show anymore. The palette thing is a random drawing thing because it's a challenge. That is why it's a random drawing. Now, I talked about that last week. Russ may change that in the future, but Sterling Davis is going to do a Founder's Choice winner. So that will be 2 separate entities in the same challenge.
He'll actually, the Founder's Choice Award, it will be $100.
Oh, $100.
$100.
I like $100. I need $100.
The thing about it is, you could pick out, you could be the one that has the random drawing on a very nice prize, because we got a lot of nice prizes out there. So you could pick, or you could get a very nice prize and still get the Founder's Choice Award from Sterling on top of the prize. So,
by God. So y'all tune in for that whenever it happens. And again, all jokes aside, best well wishes, hopes, and prayers for those that do that. I mean, I say that because I'm trying to cater to the whole audience. Not everybody's religious. Just please think about those and try to help if you can for anybody that it might be in the path of Hurricane Irma. And we are thinking about you with deep sincerity, and we hope things turn out better than are predicted. But Jamie, so glad to have you on, sir. As fun as always. Rush Clarity, thank you for being here, my friend. And
I just like to say thank you. Everybody's out there saying take care, God bless. They're praying for me, and it's. I mean, and it's not only me. I say me because I'm talking to y'all guys, but pray for the whole state of Florida. I mean, really.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
And I hope I get to see you again, Charles.
You will. Okay. And I mean that with all due respect. Try not to overthink it. It might destroy you, but you'll see me again because I'm like never mind. No, screw family friendly. I'm like herpes. I never go away. But a lot of my supposed friends will tell you that.
I said I do love you, bro.
I appreciate that, and we'll just smooch right back to you. Lord, I always pick the worst.
I love you too, Jamie. I'm in a loving mood.
Aw, he's mine.
He's
Bowls. Okay, well, Mark Christopher showed his nipples, so Jamie can show his. Don't finish that question. or that statement, because I'm trying to stay somewhat family friendly. There's people probably screaming and cussing and throwing their kids out of the room. Get out of here! We thought it was a good show. Anyway, thoughts are with y'all. Best hopes of a less than they're predicting, and I really hope. And Florida's not the only thing that's predicted to be potentially hit. So Georgia, South Carolina, the whole East Coast.
Dave Gatton could might be smooching with Irma before it's over with.
Yeah, Dave, you should send me your CNC so I can keep it in safe hands. Because I'm thinking of you, buddy. I don't want anything to happen to your CNC, because that's how I roll. But anyways, we're gonna wind it down. We've steadily had mid to high 30 viewers until now, because I talked about being naked and Jamie showed one of his, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's how we're doing it. And I'm Charles Daring. That's Jamie Page. That's Russell Clarity. We will see you next week some way, somehow. But in the meantime, let's see if I can say scroll on and not have to sit here for 5 minutes while it goes off air. But appreciate y'all being here. We will see you next week. Yeah, don't sing the stupid song. Love you. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. Thank you for being here. And